from Wizards Outlook, joined by Cardo Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, to anybody that joined us for our watch party for tonight's game between the Cavaliers and the Wizards. We appreciate you. For those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, every away game, come join us, our Focus TV playback room. Watch the games with us. Had a good time. That said, Donovan Mitchell leads the Cavs past the Wizards in overtime, 117 to 107. Ray, we'll start with you, and then Cardell, just your thoughts on, it's Washington's first loss of the season, but, on the road against, the Cavs. Pretty good Cavs team.
This was a winnable game, man. Wizards did a lot of shooting themselves in the foot. They lost the turnover battle. They had 18. The Cavs had 13. Cleveland dominated them on the boards, and they got to the free throw line way more. That's it's typically a recipe for disaster, man. And then just the execution in the overtime, it left a lot to be desired. Missed 4 free throws in the overtime period. Like, you're just not gonna win a game like that against a good team. They got through by the skin of their teeth the other night. It's nice to be able to gut out wins, but you got to be able to execute and get teams up out of there, man. This was if they clean up a couple things, they win this game. They started off on a great note, offensively and defensively, but Cleveland came back and took that momentum from them. I think they were leading 31-30, and then didn't gain the lead back until overtime. So, they just got to be better, man. Donovan Mitchell was unstoppable. Jared Allen, he had his way. Man, the Wizards, they just gotta they can't have too many more games like this. Like when they were able to get away with it the other night, but when you play like this, you're basically leaving it up to chance, man. And against the better teams, that's just not gonna fly. Bill, he's got to clean up those turnovers. I think Cardell pointed out when we was watching on the broadcast, like, where was Monte Morris at late in the game? He's the surest hand on the team. You traded it for him for this particular scenario, so you got to have him in there, man. He kind of settles things. Rui, he started off hot, and we didn't see him for a while. So I don't know if Wes is just trying to figure out lineups and groups that work together, but when it's winning time, man, you got to go with that works or has been working during that particular game. So you just can't afford to be experimenting. Win games when you can win them, and then figure that stuff out in practice or something. Because this game could have ended better for them.
Cardell.
Yeah, little things. I think it was Michael Jordan that said small things add up to big things, and the small things that most people may not pay attention to going in the game, because they more enamored with the offensive side of the ball, free throws, rebounds, turnovers, and points off those turnovers just kill the Wizards. Like, they look, man, defensively they got enough stops to win this game. Offensively, they shot well enough. They shot 49% from the field, 42% from three. But the free throws, they shot 9 of 15. They missed all but one in overtime. Then rebounds, for most of the game, they were right there with the Cavs rebound-wise. Then the Cavs just dominated them from the fourth into overtime. Won the rebounding battle 48-35. Offensive rebounds 16-4. That's just wanting it more. And one huge one is when Donovan Mitchell went in there above everybody and just grabbed the ball and ended up on the floor. They're just showing that you want it more. You want to win this game. And then the points off the turnovers, man. 28 off of 20 turnovers. Brad Beal had 6. And that last one was just very costly. Porzingis fumbling the ball, throwing it off the backboard. Little things add up to big things, man. They have to clean these scenario up. And yes, we've had people comment on the show, talk about West throughout last year. I'm like, man, I can't really say much because the players ain't bringing it fully for us to really know if it's him or if it's the players. So right now, and it was more on the players last year, so you can't even look at him. But this game, you got to kind of look at West because some of his substitution, when you got players that were hot, that had it going, you sub them out and you don't see them for a long time. Certain situations, you got players on your roster, like they're specific for these type of reasons, and you don't have them, man. It don't add up. It don't add up, man. You know, you saw things falling apart. Get Monte Morris in. He's sure he's a sure hand guy. He don't make mistakes. He's gonna get guys shots in their spots. Get him in. You see what I'm saying? Rui, he threw Rui's rhythm off. Rui had it going in the first quarter. Next thing you know, he don't play until like the third. I'm looking up like, where Rui? 12 minutes. And it's like late in the third quarter when Rui checks back in. You throw a player's rhythm off with that. So now he got to try to work his way back into the flow and try to regain that, and it's tough to do. And like oftentimes when you lose a rhythm like that, you don't get it back, which he didn't. So I don't know, man. It's look, man. It's the league, man. You can't really cater to feelings. You got to cater to getting W's because if you don't win enough, a whole bunch of feelings gonna be hurt because there's gonna be some movement. There's gonna be some changes. You see what I'm saying? So, look, it's a lot of blame to go around. All in all, the Cavs executed better down the stretch. They showed that they wanted more, especially Jared Allen. Can't forget him. You know, everybody gonna look at Donovan Mitchell scoring, rightfully so, but it was really a total team effort because Jared Allen held it down. You know, you said Osman had his moments, man. You could look at Wade had his moments of Coral, the way he was denying Bill in the first half. You know, making it tough on him, making him have to work just to get the ball was crazy. You know, he had an impact. Even Evan Mobley had a couple shots, man, that helped them keep going and stuff, helped them stay in the game. But look, the Cavs were just a better team than that overall, man. So the Wizards got to go back to the drawing board and look. I see he's trying to play a lot of players. Obviously, part of it is he's trying to see how things mesh. It's early in the season. But yeah, I mean, you know, look, these are the type of L's that come back to haunt you later on. So yeah, when certain players don't have it that night, hey man, come sit next to me, brother. Sorry, you know, I gave you ample opportunity to show it, but right now I got a coach to win, and then that just may have to be what it is moving forward.
All right. Moving on. Player of the game. Cardo, we'll start with you and then Ray.
You know, Donovan Mitchell.
Ray, did you have another? No? Okay. Cool. On X Factor, Ray, we'll start with you and then Cardo.
Oh man, sheesh. Boy, flip a coin. I'm gonna go with Jared Allen, man. You know, the Cleveland's they had a big advantage on the boards. You know, he had 6 offensive rebounds out of 16. And those are huge. A couple of them ended up turning into threes for Cleveland on a second chance opportunities. You know, his presence protecting the rim. You know, he took advantage of where the Wizards are most efficient, which is the front line. You know, Porzingis, he just had his way with him and Gaff and whoever else was up there. So I'm gonna go with Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
All right, y'all made that pretty easy. So, get into some of these comments. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and sharing your thoughts as always. From Will McDonald, turnovers, man, just killed us in the end and missed free throws. That's what you guys touched on a little bit earlier. Biggie Steve, welcome back. The free throws, 9 for 15, 18 turnovers. Blizzy Black with some positivity. The Wizards showed effort. Biggie Steve again would pull Kuz for Rui because Kuz didn't have it in OT. I think touching on what you were talking about, Cardo.
He didn't have it for most of the game, honestly. You know, a couple, you know, in fourth quarter, overtime, you know, he bullied his way in and you know, got a couple dunks, but he was off. You know, look, that size is real. And that's what I'm saying, like, why I got the Cavs doing a lot of damage this year if they stay healthy, obviously, in the postseason, because it's not just protecting the rim. Those bigs can get out there on the perimeter and move with the guards and contest all the 3-point shooting. They can fight around screens. They're great all-around defenders. They're freaks of nature, man, and that's the difference, man. It's tough. It's the reason why It's the reason why Washington Bigs guards they would get a step, but they felt them coming from behind and they would just throw that on cross court. And dudes was playing DB. Let me get that. And we going the other way. That's why there was so many turnovers. They created that. So, yeah, it's a lot of work to do because obviously for Washington to be where they want to be later on, they're gonna have to see this team. So they gotta go back to the drawing board.
For one, McDonald again, Denny only had 4 fouls and just took him out. Like, let him keep playing some D.
You saw what Donovan did to him. I'm leaving it right there. Have to turn it around. And offensively, he gave you 2 points. He was 1 for 6. Nah, he ain't having the night either. If Kuz ain't having the night, then he definitely ain't having the night.
And that's the other thing too. Keep in mind, like you said, it's 3 games in. A lot of teams playing a lot of folks. We're gonna see some rotation start to come to fruition, rotation start to harden a bit. We get to see exactly where some people be falling to the wayside a little bit, where we won't see you outside of garbage time and injuries, and we'll start seeing how things start to shake out. But like both of you said, yeah, some things happened tonight. Some folks did not have it at all. Area 11T, turnovers, fouls, and lack of free throws. Lack of aggressiveness. Killed us tonight, not to mention rebounding. Nobody boxes out. Biggie Steve, overall, I still think, I guess, we are where we are. They have to come to this DC. Let's see what happens game 2. One thing I can promise you, the next time you see him, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are not going to get any shorter. So some of those things that they can do aren't going to change too much. But
yeah, and also, look, the Wizards showing signs. They competing. They were right there. You know what I'm saying? It just fell apart in overtime. But you also got to understand is they're going to have Darius Garland next time and Ricky Rubio next time. See what I'm saying? So, look, you got to – when you got these games, especially on the road, you got to try to take them. They come back. They come back. Then you look up December, you like 12-10 struggling. You 9th, and then you're like, you got a dog fight now. Especially, I don't know if y'all looked at the schedule. This first part of the schedule for the Wizards, it's a lot of home games, but they playing against some dogs. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna get tested very quickly, and you can look up mid-November, late November, it could get ugly. It could be real. So you can't give these type of games when you have it, man. So like I said, they're not far off. It was a winnable game. They got to go back to the drawing board and really figure some things out, man. Figure out roles, man, and sometimes how to stay in your role. Sometimes being disciplined in your role is just a matter of knowing. It's just as important as knowing your role, man. So a little bickering between Brad and Kuz, if it's healthy, I'm all for it. If it's nonsense, man, they need to do away with that. That ain't gonna help nothing.
Facts, and that's the biggest thing. Conversations are welcome to be had. We've seen this place before when nobody says anything, and we've seen how that's worked out. So again, as Cardell said, I'm right with you. If it's healthy, it is what it is. But again, like Cardell reminded me there the broadcast, it's baby steps. Especially when the defense at the end of the floor. Like, I'm gonna chill till November. Well, till like probably December, like you said, and we're gonna find out during that stretch in November with some of these home games, what steps have been made and exactly who this team is. We're gonna find out sooner than later. That's the good part. But again, at the end of the day, they're 2-1. It's not the end of the world in any stretch of imagination. It's an 82-game season. It's 2-1. Real quick from Biggie Steve, from what I've seen the last few games compared to what I'm seeing around Eastern Conference, like Philly and the Nets and the others, I think we're okay. I'm hoping.
All right, but here's the thing. When they play Philly and the Nets, who will have the best players on the floor? Philly and Brooklyn. You see what I'm saying? Like, and Brooklyn, they're not over right now. They're 500. They still trying to figure themselves out. They're still trying to incorporate Ben. They're going to be hell to deal with as the season goes along if they're healthy. Philly, Embiid, the reason why they slow because Embiid, he's not in the best of shape right now. Had foot problems on what they said, what the report said during the summer. So he's working himself back into shape. He's going to get in shape. And there's nothing on the Wizards that can deal with him. You see what I'm saying? And then you got to deal with Harden, Maxey, and them boys, Tobias Harris. So it's not a given. It's still early for a lot of reasons. But my thing is this, man. Nothing about the Wizards. Nobody should be walking around, if you on the Wizards side of things, walking around kind of like, we got this. What have they shown in the last few years where you can feel like they got this? They got to earn that. You know what I'm saying? The only teams in the East that deserve that, the Bucks, Miami. That might be about it, dog. Just keeping it real. That might be it. So then you go out west, obviously the champs. Oh, you got the champs, man. You got Luca down there, Denver. There's a few teams where they're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Other teams is show improved time, and the Wizards definitely got to show improved. So, nah, I hear you. We hoping. We hoping. There's some signs that look better than last year, but remember how they started last year too, 10-3. Then all hell broke loose. So, like, they gotta keep going. That's what I'm saying. Like, these type of wins are important because it builds momentum and confidence for when you really have the adversity come during the season. You know that's what's gonna hold you together and you be able to push through. When you keep giving up this, all it's gonna take is for a game to be tough, and you're like, and then it's a wrap. It's because there's not gonna be much resistance to fight through it.
All right, another one from Area 11 team. Again, we appreciate y'all for the comments. What y'all think about maybe moving some minutes around the shuffling lineups to prevent teams from making those comebacks after those hot starts?
I mean, we kind of touched on that early. He was like, Ray started, and I piggyback off him when it was just about some of the substitutions about, West. Some of it didn't make sense. Like, why wasn't Monte in overtime? Why didn't Rui get back in earlier when he had rhythm, when he had momentum? Just certain things that don't add up, especially when Kuz was struggling. Denny was struggling. You know what I'm saying? He had it going. You needed that offense. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like Rui's food on defense either. So, I felt like, keep him on the bench threw his rhythm off. But I'm pretty sure he had his reasoning, but we won't know unless he speak on it in the post game. But yeah, he's gonna have to. It's just certain that the Cavs at certain points expose certain lineups, especially Porzingis. Porzingis can't really guard nobody because those bigs are so athletic. They're gonna roll to the basket and get dunks. He has to stay glued to them to prevent that. But it gives the guards easy points, easy shots, because they got so much space and daylight to make it happen. All they got to do is be patient and pick the right play and then just execute.
All right, I think Biggie Steve piggybacking off what y'all were talking about earlier, just with Philadelphia lost to the Spurs at home, and I would just simply just keep this moving. I'm going to go back to the first thing you said about that. When these two teams play, best players on the phone, on the court, on the opposing teams. Starts and ends with that. Again, 3 games in, tis what it is. Area 11T. And that's going to be a problem when they figure it out. As Cardell said, if they stay healthy, yeah, probably. Rui was hot. Should have had him close instead of Kuz. You guys talked about this earlier. It's too early to be even saying anything like this. And that's y'all are 2-1. Take a deep breath, y'all. Come on, y'all. Don't start already, man. Going off what you said, we need to get these early games because they're going to help in the long term. Come later, for sure. For sure.
Gotta get the early ones in the bank, man.
For sure. Also feel like this is a game that show why having a point guard is important. Yes, sir. And also why Cardell and Ray were touching on where was Monte Morris down the stretch because things were kind of a little shaky late. What good is bringing in Gortat in for training if the bigs don't box out or Gaff not setting proper screens?
Well, I don't think he was there to help him box out. It was more about the screen stuff, but you gotta understand who they was dealing with, dog. Them like it's hard to get a body on Jared Allen and Mobley, though. They can move. They're athletic. They long. You know what I'm saying? Not making excuses, but look, Gaff is not the biggest dude. He's 6'9". He's just bouncy, so he can play a bigger because of his athleticism. So he can play bigger than what he is. Jared Allen 6'11", 7 feet. Evan Mobley 6'10". So he's a little guy to them. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like you can set the screen. I don't know if y'all noticed, and I'm not trying to be no disrespect. The legs on Gaffer ain't the strongest. He hits the ground a lot. So he feel that contact, he goes back. and we just hoping he don't go down. And then it's literally 4-on-5. So you gotta look at those little things, man. Look, go attack. That's a big boy, big, solid, strong dude. He ain't moving when he put a body on you. Or even if you strong, y'all just gonna be stuck there. That's gonna be. So it worked for him. And he would guess who he was playing with? John Wall. So he could eat too. They don't have that on the roster right now. So you got, you know what I'm saying? You got to look at all the factors. That's why he can come in, help us screen all, but they're not going to attack. You know what I'm saying? So
he can't give him his fit. He can't give him his body type though. Mitchell showed Brad how to be a max player. Lord, y'all starting early.
Oh man,
off the early. Ooh, Anthony Tony, welcome back, man. Man popped up the first stream he popped up on, man. Just
shots fired. Jeez.
When Corey gets back, do you think Gil will get any minutes? Because I'm just not feeling Gil in the lineup this game. I thought he was undersized. I mean, outside of Porzingis, like,
yeah,
they're undersized, like, as a whole, not just as a whole, they're undersized. Like, Kevin Love looked big at times tonight. Like, they're undersized. It's not just height, you know, it's weight too. Like, as Cardell said, sometimes screens get set and they're the ones moving, you know, across the board. No Miles Turner, Levine, Garland. Washington still make it close games fully healthy. This season isn't promising at all. It is too early for y'all to be that far in the tank.
Give it to
game
December,
3.
dog. Give it to December.
I say play Gibson over Gaff when he's struggling. He won't give up boards and hustles.
It don't hurt to try. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing we do know, he knows what to do. He knows how to play.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if he got the legs to be dealing with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley after a while. You know, fatigue set in, and you know, you start seeing why he ain't played. You like, damn, you know, he can get bad quick. A couple lobs is a wrap. So,
yeah, Taj, 36 now?
Something like that. I think he around our age.
He's in the neighborhood at the very least.
He's 37. Yeah, younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, 37. That's why. And I don't think he's the biggest guy either. I think he's like 6'9" too. See, he's 6'9" too. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of height. And I know I've been saying this for the all season.
3 years. I'm gonna say for 3 years you've been screaming this.
Coming out the East, you ain't coming out the East though unless you got some big. You know? You got to deal with Embiid and Giannis. You have to. And Bam, and Miles Turner, down the Cavs boys. You know that's why I call him the Cavs boys. You're gonna have to see them. You're gonna have to see one of them. And your bigs ain't up to par. Even Vucevic in Chicago can get it done. So
they got Vooch and Drummond back to back in Chicago. Like,
yeah, exactly. And they was eating.
Yes.
Bill just made a nice play. He just made a play at home. So they could easily be 1 and 2 right now. Y'all
take this 2-1 and enjoy the growth, like, and hope for more growth. Like, it's
don't be like Lakers fans where it's just the end of the world with don't overreact. Just give it some time. It's a new team. There's a lot of new pieces, man. Give it time. Like I said, give it to like early December. We'll know where it is.
For sure. This year's team definitely feels better than last year's team when it comes to wins. It just seems more genuine and legit.
I agree.
Anthony Tony, Brad's turnovers are atrocious. He can't be the closer.
Look, he can't have the ball in his hands, though. Like, no disrespect. No, had the ball in his hands, but set it up where he just can focus on putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like, trying to be a point guard and facilitate, like, nah, bro. Nah, it's consistent over the years since Wall has been moved and they put the ball more in his hands. It just is what it is. But as far as him getting a bucket, that's when you put the ball in his hands. Attack.
Ooh, Anthony Tony is not done firing. This one isn't as bad. Start DeLon Wright. Morris doesn't have a big ego. He'll accept his role. Area 11T. We got to get the chemistry down, too, because there's still moments where it feels like playing separately. Again, it's 3 games in. I definitely agree with you, but it's 3 games in. like Cardell said, we'll find out in next month and a half. Like before we are pushing up against the new year, you will have a great idea of what this iteration of this team is. We'll know. We're gonna find out quick this month coming up with all these good teams coming to Capital One. We're gonna find out very, very quick on a night in, night out basis. Just a reminder to you guys that are in here, and again, we appreciate you. I'm gonna put this link in here. That link is for if you guys want to hang out with us and watch away games. It's really that simple. Just join us, join that room, and hang out with us. Then we'll come here and obviously talk. Appreciate all of you who tuned in tonight. Truly do. And we'll get at you guys soon. Oh, go ahead, Cardell. Sorry.
The Cavs, their defensive rating as a team, they're 8th in the league. They're 3rd in the league in points given up, 102 coming into this game. That's what I'm saying. This is an elite defensive team. And the Wizards almost got them, still trying to figure things out. They still was in position to get them on their home floor. Gotta give it some time. They're not far off, man, but they got to clean up the little things. Once they do that and be consistent, they'll be fine.
As Cardell said and Ray said, it's the 3rd game of the year. The 4th game is on Tuesday. They got the Pistons coming in. That's one of those things where you need to take care of business in that one. And we'll be speaking to you guys probably before that game and definitely after it right here on Wizards Outlook. Y'all have a great evening. We'll get at you guys very soon.